Wednesday to design a project with you today. We're going to make a strung bracelet project, and it's going to have 2 or 3 strands. I'm going to get your input on it. The one that I did in the sample has 3 strands, but I wanted to get everyone's take on it. So this is what we're going to be making. So the colors are very kind of resort style colors, but also very 70s. So this actually started out with the 70s vibe. That's how I picked out my beads. I was thinking, oh, I love the 70s. I love kind of that burnt orange and the avocado green and, you know, a turquoise color. So that's how this started. But then when I paired it with the gold and the cream, it took on a distinct resort feel, which is super on trend right now. So that's great for summer because we are doing this live here in May. We're about to go into summer. So you know, that was on my mind as well. Now these beads here are Czech glass beads, most of them, and a lot of them are by Raven's Journey. So we're going to combine some of them. So lots of pretty shapes and designs. And I see we have Michelle in the background and Carolyn and Susanna. Hello, good morning guys. And the necklace I'm wearing real quick is the design we made in last week's class. So that was really fun to do. So all these classes that we do live here are saved. You can always go back and rewatch the replays. If you order the supplies and you want to make it with me, that's always fun to do. I see Piper, Santa Barbara girl, Tina, hello guys. Always fun to see familiar names and I always want to say faces, but familiar names. All right, a couple quick notes for anyone who's joining us for the first time. Hi, Denise and Hazel and Mary B. The way this works is we are live. It is Wednesday morning here on the West Coast. I'm in the Los Angeles area. Welcome wherever you are from. It's always fun to go ahead and put where you're from in the comments section. I see Kat and Lou. Hello, guys. And then if you have a question and you're watching this live, just comment there and I can see the question, or Michelle or Eric can pull up the question too. You know, that's always so handy with these lives is that we can answer in real time and get you the information you need. Now, another quick note is there's a little shopping bag icon that has everything preloaded into the show. So if you click on that shopping bag, it'll show you a page and all these different items that I'm using. So you don't have to wait for a banner to pop up, or you don't have to have me describe the size because I don't always remember. I pick out the beads and they're beautiful, but I don't always remember the color name or the size. So that's a really great resource. Oh, thank you, Santa Barbara girl. I love this necklace that we made last week. That was so much fun. Oh, I see Tori from Reno and Debbie from Central Michigan. It is so fun to see where everybody is from. Oh yeah, I never wear necklaces, guys. This is a departure for me. I rarely wear them, but I love this one we did last week together. All right, guys, I'm gonna flip my camera down so we can start to make this. It's gonna be really pretty. I'm gonna show you it with the camera flipped down. I can show a little bit better detail that way. All right, here we go, guys. Hello, backyard. It's gonna be hot today. I think we're gonna hit 90. So I'm gonna take my sweater off as I do this because it's already heating up in here. Oh, from Buena Park. Hello, Rosie. I am just in the Claremont area. So I am just in Southern California here. Okay, so here we go. This is what we're gonna make. So we have a clasp right here. And actually, this is the 8mm size. I put 2 of them in the shopping bag just so you could see there's an 8 and a 10mm. So if you want to go a little bit bigger, there is an option. We're going to be doing a stringing technique here that uses some seed beads on the other side of the crimp tube so that you kind of have a little decorative element. We're going to do 3 strands. And so this is what it looks like laid out. Let me put my birdies upright. Oh, hello, Shirley from Ohio. Good morning. Okay, so these are our 3 strands. So we got lots of different Raven's Journey beads, and we have some seed beads and some little gold spacers. And I do love the colors. I love this orange with the green and the turquoise and the cream. These are probably all of my favorite colors combined into one bracelet. I love them. Okay, so another quick note is because I wanted to make this sample bracelet, because I've been trying to make samples of the full designs before the show so that I can use it as like a reference and I can take a picture of it. I took all my beads that I ordered, all of my Raven's Journey beads, and I divided them in half, their strands. So if you were what that means is I made this bracelet with less than half a strand of each of the beads. So if you were to order 2 clasps, you would have enough beads and enough stringing material to make 2 bracelets. So you can keep one and gift one, keep one and sell one, whatever you might want to do with it. So that's kind of a fun little thing about this, is that you're going to get enough beads for 2 of them. Oh, and Denise is saying she loves me some Raven's Journey. Me too. Me too. I love it. And I like the sound. The sound, I think, is so pretty too when you've got all those beautiful glass beads. So nothing plastic in here. All right, so this is what I was going to ask you guys before we started. This is a triple strand bracelet. We can definitely make the triple strand bracelet here in the class, or we can leave off the seed bead strand. For me, I feel like lots of jewelry that's really popular right now has this strand of seed beads. That's kind of what makes it really feel very current. And that's good. That's why I put it in there, so it looked like it was very, fashionable and on trend. I kind of also really like the bracelet without the seed bead strand, just the 2 rounds of the Raven's Journey. So what do you guys, I see Santa Barbara girl says, love the seed beads. Okay. I was debating whether we wanted to do the seed beads, but we can definitely put that seed bead strand in there. It does add a little something extra. This is also another thing I've been thinking about. Oh, make it all, says Debbie. Okay, we'll make it all. Okay, sounds good. So as I've been designing a lot of jewelry for myself lately, what I've been thinking of is I've been finishing a design. So basically, I finished a design like this. And then I've been asking myself, what can I do to add a little something extra? Does it need anything else? And so I've been trying to add just that little something extra to my designs to make them pop. So just kind of a little design tip there. It's kind of an interesting question to ask yourself when you think a design is done, to ask yourself, is there anything extra I can add? Oh no. Okay, what's out of stock already? I was hoping, I didn't think I had anything out of stock. If it's the clasp, I know we were running low on it, but I thought there was a little extra stock we could put in there. So Michelle, if it is the clasp that's out of stock, can you go chat Teresa real quick? Let's see. Oh, this treasure mat is sold out. Okay. Oh, the mat. Yeah. Oh, the aqua blue is sold out already? Oh no. I had lots of those when I made this. So, okay. Well, I know, I think there's a way that you can get notified when something comes back in stock. And I know Michelle is great at finding substitutes as well. Okay. And then can you go in close to the orange seed beads? Oh, near the clasp. Yes. And I'm going to teach you how to do this. So this is my favorite technique for stringing, is to add some little seed beads up near the clasp, and I'll show you how to do that as well. I learned this from designer Deb Floros. She does this a lot, and I thought it was so clever. I love it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are gonna be using our beading wire here, and we've got a little bead stopper, and we have a cutter, and we have a standard crimping plier. We're gonna be using 2x2 crimp tubes. So we're going to be able to use just a standard crimping tool. And then I have just a chain nose plier here in the background in case it's needed. And thank you, Michelle, for checking up on some beads here. That could be a substitute. Yeah, when I make these projects, I always look for beads that have a ton of them so we don't run out so fast. I know things do sell out during live shows, but I always try to start with a good amount. Oh, and Shirley saying, I just ordered the blue and amber 9mm. Yeah, it's a good idea. If it's available right now at the beginning of the show and you know you love it, it is a good idea to get that order in because things do sell. I think this bee necklace that I did last week, unfortunately, like 8 or 9 items sold out pretty quickly on it. Okay, so we're going to start with about 15 inches of beading wire. You could probably get by with 13. I always make a little extra. I always want a little extra just to give myself some extra room here so I'm not struggling. If the strands are separate, then put an open jump ring then onto the clasp. You can wear it as a 1, 2, and 3-strand bracelet. That is a great idea, Lynn. Piper saying no jump ring malfunction with this one. You are right. Oh my gosh. I still am struggling with jump rings, guys. I don't know what's happening to me. All right. So I've got this. It's cut. I am going to go ahead and just place my bead stopper right here onto the end. So we have something to stop our beads. Now, when I do attach the clasp, I'm going to separate it out. So we've got the two halves of the magnetic clasp. So I might as well just put those off to the side right now. And I do like that when I do a project like this, I can just follow the pattern. And see, this would be really pretty just as a single bracelet too. I think that that could be really pretty and elegant as well. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull out all the beads I'm gonna need and kind of have them here in front of me. I also have, I don't know if I put this in the shopping bag. I hopefully did. There's a color I'm not using, but I thought was really pretty. If you want to add a little bit of a rosy tone to it, I have this little 4mm pearl here that I thought was really pretty. I ended up not using it. I went with the brighter cream colored pearls, but I thought that was really pretty. Okay, and then Michelle is saying I've added the 9x6 version of the aqua blue beads, yay! And the other ivory version that's 5x3 to the shopping bag. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, so these are the seed beads that I thought matched the Raven's Journey beads. So this is a little bit more intense and darker than the Raven's, but I thought it gave it a really nice contrast. So I have these here. This is a Toho 80 round, and Michelle just popped the banner up, and then this is an 11-0. And I really like this. I think this is called like galvanized perma finish or something. It's really pretty. Yeah, perma finish matte galvanized saffron. So a really cool color right here. Okay. Oh, and I'm glad I brought my chain nose. Always seem to need them for something. Okay, I'll just spread some of these guys out. And there's that really intense color. All right, so now we're gonna just string. We're gonna have fun doing some stringing. So for this bracelet here, I'm gonna start with one seed bead, and then I'm going to put on my little crimp tube. So it's ready. So here's my itty bitty little 2mm crimp tube. So I'll put that guy on. And then I'm going to go ahead and put one of these hexagon spacers by TierraCast. They're a nice little spacer bead. I like them a lot. They're very flat. So we're going to grab one of those, followed by one of these beautiful green Raven's Journey beads. Now I like that cut. I forget the name of the cut. Maybe Michelle can put it there, but this is now one of my favorite cuts because it looks very old world to me. This looks very vintagey. Okay, so I got the spacer on, followed by one of these green Raven's beads. And then I'm going to use a seed bead as a spacer. I'm just going to add it because I want that little pop of color. So instead of putting another gold bead right there, I'm going to add that little seed bead, followed by one of these orange beads, which is so cool looking. And then another spacer. And one of my pearls. My pearls are off to the side here, but here are my pearls. They're these really pretty creamy pearls. They kind of glow a little too. I like them a lot. They have a nice finish to them. Okay. And then I'm going to do a spacer, followed by a green bead. And this will be my sequence that I will repeat. If I can find that hole. It's got to be here somewhere. Okay. So here is the sequence that we are going to repeat. So it's going to be green bead, then it's going to be seed bead, orange bead, gold spacer, pearl, gold spacer. And Eric is giving us a wonderful reminder that right now we're having a Raven's Journey promotion going on. So it's a great time to pick up Raven's Journey, and we're using a ton of them in this project. So that's perfect. Okay, so that's the sequence. We're just going to do it on repeat. So I've got now my first green bead right here. And so now I'm going to do a little orange seed bead, followed by an orange bead, and then a gold spacer, a pearl, and a gold spacer, and that finished that sequence once I put this on. So there's number 2 of it. You see how we're just building that on repeat right there. Now I made my bracelet to fit my wrist, which is about 6.5 inches. So if you see this on, so I'm going to do that for this one. Do know that you will have enough beads to make it longer as well, because I still have a lot of room on here. So, but I'm going to go ahead and follow my pattern here. So that's kind of nice that I have it. So I need a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of that sequence. So let's go ahead and add some more, and then we're going to add an extra bead or 2 at the end, it looks like, to make the right size. Okay. And then it's nice, we'll go ahead and attach this to our clasp right away. So then you can see the attachment method. Which is kind of handy, because sometimes with these live projects, we do a lot of work in the beginning and we don't get to some of the finishing techniques until a little bit later. So it'll be nice that we'll kind of go into that quickly here. And I am so grateful that I'm doing this show in the morning here on the West Coast, just because we are going to get so hot today in the Los Angeles area. I know I'll be thankful for a day that's only 90 come, late July, August. But right now, when it's been cooler, this is feeling very hot. Okay. Oh, 58 there in Connecticut. Oh, that sounds nice. I have always wanted to go to Connecticut. I have never been, but I have seen pictures and I have heard that it is lovely. Yeah, my smart home app, I'm not going to say the name because she's going to start talking. She thought I said a different city this morning when I said what was the temperature going to be. And she said 42 degrees for the high. And I was like, oh, I must have said something wrong. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. You see, that was pretty quick to do. We just strung those on there. I'm going to double check that I have the right amount here against my little sample piece. Yeah, you always know when you've said the wrong name into your smart device and it's completely off. Okay, so for me, and this is what you can do too, I was using my own wrist as a guide, and I realized that this, even though I completed 5 complete sequences here, it just wasn't quite long enough. I really wanted to... sorry, I'm trying to read the comments as I go, guys. Sometimes I get a little tongue-tied. I really wanted to have it just a little bit longer. So I'm going to add just 1 more green bead, but not an entire sequence. So feel free to do that too. This pattern is really forgiving. You don't really need to complete the full sequence each time. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 more little orange bead followed by another, oh my gosh. Okay. Another crimp tube. Now we're ready to attach it to the clasp. What I like to do is kind of wiggle it down a little bit so I have more space on each side to work with, because I end up wasting a little bit of beading wire as I go, but I really like having a longer string. I get a little frustrated when I have not a lot to work with. So, okay, so now to do that connecting method where we add the seed beads, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add 2 seed beads. So we've already got our crimp tube on there. Now we're going to add 2 seed beads. We're going to go through the loop on our clasp. And now we're going to add 2 more seed beads before we go through the crimp tube. So this is what it looks like. So now we're going to go ahead and loop around and go back down through that crimp tube. And I've always been a person who likes to tuck their tails, leave a little longer tail. and tuck it into beads. But I've been watching a lot of Sarah Lovecraft shows, and she's here on Fridays, and she keeps saying, you know, that she doesn't feel that's needed. And I'm going to go with that, because I feel like, you know, we all learn from each other. I am definitely more of a wire wrapper, a bead embroiderer, a kumihimo. Stringing is actually what I tend to do the least of. So I'm going to learn from the others who do more of it. And she's been sharing that, you know, she really doesn't feel like you have to tuck that extra tail in. All right, so but you do want to separate out your strands, because you're going to create 2 channels, and you want them to be kind of clearly off to each side when you do this, and that's going to help with the integrity of your piece. Okay, so we're just going to go down, and we've got that in that back notch, if you can see that, and we're separating it out, and we're just going to give it a good squeeze. So now we've got those 2 channels, and 1 strand is coming out of each. And then we're going to go in here and rotate it so it's up on its side. So you can see how it's kind of sitting on its side in there. And we're going to give it a good squeeze, which folds it over onto itself. And we have a nice little crimped crimp tube. So now I am going to go ahead and just trim my tail. See, I do too, Piper. I always have as well. I always tuck my tail into the extra beads. So I'm trying this way. So you can definitely do that too. If anyone wants to leave a little longer tail, you can tuck it into the extra beads. Okay, so for this one, now we've got our tail. You know what, 15 inches was actually pretty excessive. I think I'll cut more like 13 inches on the next one, 12 or 13. Okay. So here we got one side done. So now we're going to go ahead and do the same on the other side, but I'm going to share kind of how I do it with bracelets. So let's see, here's what we've got. Okay, and I just realized, so this is a good reason to double check your work. I actually want that seed bead between the crimp tube and my spacer. So I'm just going to pull this off, put the seed bead on first, put on my crimp tube. Okay, grab 2 more seed beads. And then the other half of my clasp. Yeah, Cindy, I do too. I do too. Now I'm doubting. Now I'm wondering if I should tuck my ends in, because I've always done that as well. Okay, so now I've got this, and now what I'm going to do is 2 more seed beads. And that's what I love about jewelry making, is there's definitely more than one way to do something, and you find what works for you. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to loop back around, go back through the crimp tube, and pull it on down, but I like to pull it down so that it's, obviously you don't want a gap in your wire, but I don't want it too stiff and tight. So what I tend to do is I do go ahead and I latch my clasp at this point so that the beads are forced to go into the round position, that it'll be on your wrist before I do my crimping. And I do that just so that I don't end up with a really stiff bracelet that kind of ends up sticking up from your wrist because it's too stiff. Okay, so now we just need to crimp this crimp tube as well. And that feels really good. There's no gaps in the wire. It still has nice movement. I go in here. And again, I'm separating it out. I'm holding that wire off to the side. And then I'm going to crimp. So it's got the 2 channels. And crimp. Okay, so if we wanted to tuck our wire, we still could at this point. We could easily go in here and put it through a few beads, like so. Piper, I love it. I would like a huge strawberry right now. Okay, so there, if you do want to tuck your wire through a few beads, definitely you can. That's a, easy way to do that. I am using a 0.015 inch wire. That's what I tend to do. I find that's like the mid-range wire, and it fits the 2x2 crimp tubes perfectly. So I pretty much exclusively use a 0.015. Okay, so there is bracelet number 1. I think you could actually completely call it a day with bracelet number 1. I think that's a really pretty classic bracelet that you would end up wearing a lot. Okay, but now we're going to do bracelet number 2. Do I ever use twisted crimp beads? You know, Carol, I haven't. I have never used a twisted crimp bead. I wonder how they would work. I've seen them, but it's like I'm thinking like the integrity of them, and then also why. But so that would be interesting to explore. Okay, we're going to do the second one. And now you can either just start it on your bracelet. Let's do that. That's kind of fun. Since we're talking about different ways of doing things, you can also, instead of having the bead stopper on there, you can start it right onto your bracelet. So we're just going to measure, and I don't need 15 inches. I need more like 12 or 13. So 6, 12, 13. Might as well save some of this. Ooh, colors remind me of Thanksgiving. Oh, totally Thanksgiving colors. It's interesting, however you put whatever thought you put in, it's like, yes, this would absolutely be beautiful fall Thanksgiving. That would be perfect. I can also see this, beachy and resort with the orange and turquoise. So fun how versatile jewelry can be. Okay, so if you wanted to skip the bead stopper and then just start with your clasp, you can. Let me wrap my head around how to do this. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with a crimp tube. And watch me probably confuse myself on this, but then you're going to do 2 seed beads because we're doing that little seed bead attachment. Okay, and then we're going to go through the little loop. Same loop. This loop is big enough to be able to get multiple strands through. So we don't need a strand reducer or anything like that. Okay. Then we're going to do 2 more seed beads. And we're going to go through that crimp tube. See? So it's magnetic. So it's attached itself to my crimping tube. Okay. So now what we'll do is we're just going to slide this down. So there you've got that crimp tube on there and you got the 2 strands. So we can separate those out just so they can go into the 2 channels. Oh, I bet autumn is gorgeous in Minnesota. I do that. I love the weather most of the time of where I'm at in SoCal. But I do miss the seasons. I do miss like a true fall. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, so I do miss some of those really beautiful seasons. Okay, fun working with the magnets. I know it keeps trying to say hello to me here. Okay, so I got the 2 strands, crimp it, rotate it, and squish it down. All right, so that's actually done. We can either leave this tail here or trim it, whichever we want to do, if we want to tuck it into the beads or not. But you can see we've got these 2 strands on here now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the other bracelet with the little birdies. So this is our second one that we're going to do. And this has got a lot of Raven's Journey beads in it as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a birdie. So, and then when you do the birds, if you want to, you can make sure they're all like sitting the same way. So that they all are all facing one direction. So here you go. So we're just going to make sure we put them on in the same direction. And then we're going to do one of these bigger kind of chunky rondelles. And then a smaller rondelle. And then we're going to do an orange bead to tie in with the other strand. So that kind of brings these together because we're going to reuse some of the beads. And don't forget, you can make 2 of these whole bracelets. If you just order 1 extra clasp, you have enough beads for two bracelets. Okay, and then another chunky one, and then another birdie. And let's put it through here so the birdie sits the same way. Okay. So this is our sequence. So our sequence is bird, large rondelle, small rondelle, seed bead, spacer, seed bead, small rondelle, large rondelle, and then the bird signifies the start of the next sequence. So that is going to be how we're going to do this. And I'm going to look at my sample. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 5 of them. Okay, so we're going to do this. And I can just look at the beads I've already put on, which is super handy. So I bought a dress actually this morning. I popped in at 8 a.m. to a store, and it has like sardines all over it. It's very cute. And I think this bracelet is going to go great with it because it's white. It's kind of creamy colored with some of these colors. I think it's going to go very well. I had to do a little pickup order this morning. I was like, I'm just going to go in since it's 8 a.m. Oh, hi, Nancy. Oh, thank you. Yes, we are stringing a bracelet this morning, a triple-strand bracelet. Okay, so here we go. There's another sequence. Just kind of check your work as you go. You can always, though, pull it off, though. Even though you started here by doing an attachment to the clasp on this end, you still have one end open, of course. So if there is a mistake, you can always pull the beads off. Oh, good. Denise has a lot of these beads already. Perfect. Well, and you can sub in your favorite. Like this style of bracelet, you can easily do with just hundreds of different beads. Especially like Raven's Journey, because a lot of Raven's Journey beads look really great with other Raven's Journey beads. So if you have a nice stash of these Czech glass beads, you're going to be able to make some really pretty jewelry. Okay, keep going. And then we got that seed bead strand we're going to do at the end here too. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we need to complete the fourth one. I know there's 4 complete ones, and then there's kind of like a little half one for my size here. Yeah, these definitely all look so pretty together. It's easy to just pick out some seed beads and their colors too. It's nice that the Raven's Journey beads have so many nice colors as part of them that it's easy to coordinate. Oh, great, Piper. Well, perfect day too, because the Raven's Journey is on sale, so that's perfect. You guys know me. I love a good sale and a bargain and thrifting and all of that goodness. Okay, so let's see what I got here. So this is what it looks like so far, and I'm just kind of double checking that all my birdies are going in the same direction, but you don't really have to. You know, if you want them to go different directions, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Oh, okay. So if I have a magnetic clasp, will it try to connect itself to the metal connectors in my purse? So here, I'll show you. Once the magnetic clasp is sealed, like you're wearing it, there's a little bit of magnetism, but it's not as strong as when the magnets are exposed. So it should be okay. I think it depends, but this is definitely pretty strong right there. But when it's sealed and those magnets are touching each other and not open, it does it a little bit, but is not nearly as strong. Oh, thank you, Candace. Welcome. Okay, so I think for the last 2 beads I needed one more of these large rondelles, one more of the small rondelles. And what you can do as you're making this, you can go ahead, and this is actually a nice reason why you might want to attach this strand to the clasp as you go. You can line these up and make sure that they are the same size so that you don't have one super long and one not. Oh, you know what? I haven't tried adding the safety chain to the magnetic clasp yet, Santa Barbara girl, but I love that idea and I am definitely going to do it. What I just did, and I don't know why this reminded me of it, I just made an earring and I actually stitched on the chain instead of using a jump ring. So that was really cool. note about chain just reminded me of that, but I have to try it because I love that idea of having a safety chain. It would be so easy to put a safety chain in here, just slip it right in there. You don't need any other attachment method. You could just do it through one of its links and you would be good to go. Oh, thank you, Ruth Alice. Okay, so now we're going to attach this one to our clasp as well. So same deal, we need a crimp tube. So I'm using tubes. I struggle with crimp beads. I really like crimp tubes. Crimp beads seem to slip around on me a little too much. Okay, 2 more seed beads. Okay, and now what we want to do is we're going to hold this and we're going to expose the little loop right there. And we're going to go through the loop. Pick up 2 more seed beads. And we're going to go down through our crimp tube. And same as before, just kind of pull it down. And you can kind of, if you've got like a gap right there, you just kind of keep pulling it a little bit until it cinches up. Again, I want to close this. So I'm going to trim. I know we were talking about, do we want to trim our tails or tuck it? I think for this one, I'm just going to trim it and get it out of the way, but we could do either. Okay. Okay, so again, what I'm going to do is I am going to close this up so that my beads are forced into that round position. Oh, yeah, Piper, I agree. The crimp seed beads do kind of seem weak to me. I feel like there's not as much metal. You don't get those nice clean channels either. All right, so this looks good. I don't have any gaps. It's flexible still, so I'm ready to crimp. So I'm just going to go on in here. Again, separate out. So I get the beading wire into the 2 channels. Crimp. And then crimp. Flatten it. Okay, so we can trim this tail or we could tuck it. Here, so easy. If we want to tuck it. This bracelet's going to be all confused. It's going to have some tails that are trimmed right by the crimp tube, and it's going to have some that are tucked in, but that's okay. All right, so here is the bracelet if you don't want to add the seed beads to it. So like I said, I really debated on this one. If I wanted to keep it just like this. So this is what it looks like. And I like this clasp too because it looks just like a nice gold bead. So you could keep it just like this and call it a day. But we're going to add that seed bead bracelet part of it as well. And what I did is I actually tucked the seed bead one into the middle so that when you wear it, you've got the 2 larger beads with bead strands without. Yeah, Denise, I feel like I keep going back and forth. Sometimes I really like it with the seed beads. I'm like, oh, it's just that extra little pop, that extra something. And then other times I'm kind of like, well, I think it's kind of classically elegant without the seed beads too. So, but it gives options. I'll show how to do it because it gives options. And then you can decide which one you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to cut my strand. I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. We know we needed about 12, 13 inches. Okay, so I've got this right here. I'm going to attach this one as well to begin with because it was really handy to be able to just kind of measure the length of the other strand with the existing one that was already done. So we're going to do that, but we're going to open this up right here and kind of scoot these guys off to the side so we go in the middle. So we're going to want a crimp tube followed by 2 seed beads. I'm going to go through the middle right here. Okay, and I'm going to now, this is the only tricky part is because I don't have a bead stopper on and I'm just kind of looping it right here. I need 2 more seed beads. Okay, and so now we need to go back through the crimp tube and just scoot it on down. So there we go. And that we're just going to verify it's in the middle. So you just double check your work. And then we're going to crimp. So it's right there in that back notch. And squeeze. Oh, so Michelle's asking, could you use a clasp converter if you wanted to remove the seed beads or change out the colors? Yeah, you know, I think you could. I also really liked the idea earlier that you could put these on jump rings and then attach them with a jump ring to the clasp. So then you could always choose if you wanted 1, 2, or 3 bracelets. I thought that was super clever too. Okay, so I'm going to trim this right here, just get that tail out of the way. So for the seed beads, if we go back and we look at the pattern here, I did 10 of the orange, followed by 5 of the really vibrant teal. And then I did that on a repeat. I did that, I started with the orange. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 full sequences of that, and then 1 extra orange amount. Okay. And you could do random, you could do like an A-B, like, you know, orange, teal, orange, teal, orange, teal, lots of patterns you could do. I did a little bit of the color blocking, but whatever you want to do for sure. Okay, so 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, followed by 5 of the teal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's it for our sequence. So now we're just going to repeat that. And for anyone who is joining us, everything that you see here is in that shopping bag icon. You can just click on that and it'll have all the sizes and the color names. You can also watch the replay. We talked a little bit about the color names for the seed beads earlier. So all that stuff is there and available. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and we are having that Ravens Journey promotion right now too. So it's a great time to pick up Ravens. Okay, and I'm just going to keep doing this, and you see how it's just sitting now down by that clasp because the clasp is acting as my bead stopper because we already attached it. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry guys, I know this is kind of on repeat right here when you're doing a pattern like this, but we're almost done. All we'll have to do is secure this to the other side of the bracelet once we get all these little seed beads on, and then we'll have our triple strand Czech glass bracelet. Oh no, the saffron beads sold out. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Okay, I know Michelle can probably try to find a substitute as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 1 more orange block, 1 more teal block, and 1 more orange block. Oh no, Shirley, I'm so sorry. Yeah, with these lives, it's really unpredictable if something's going to sell out kind of quickly. I know I was surprised the bee necklace I did last week, so much sold out so quickly on it. But I know Michelle is really good at finding substitutes too. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more beads, guys, and then we're going to attach it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, perfect. Okay, here we go. So this here is our middle core of this. Again, you can kind of line it up against your other beads and just make sure it's the right size. And then we're going to just add, I'm just going to do that real quick right here, stretch that out. Yeah, I feel like I've got like, nope, that should be good. For a minute, I was feeling like I had an extra bead. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a crimp tube. So same attachment method that we've been doing. And then 2 of the orange seed beads. And then we want to do this in the middle again. So separate these guys out. So you're going to go ahead and place this between the 2 that are already there. Okay. Then we're going to loop it back around. Oops, we need 2 more seed beads before we loop it. And then we're going to go back down through our crimp tube. And same as we've been doing this whole time, we are going to latch our bracelet again, just to make sure that everything is nice and flexible and soft. So you see right here. And we want to make sure there's no gaps. I don't see any gaps of the wire. And this is our last step. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead. Make sure that that's separated out. Okay, and I want to make sure that that seed bead, it almost got into my crimping plier a little bit. So I want to make sure that I didn't do that, didn't crimp a glass bead. That would not be good. Okay, and then rotate. And squeeze, and we've got that nice flattened crimp tube. And I'm just going to trim it right here, or you could tuck it. And we're done. So here is our finished design. Oh, and Michelle's saying she's added the shiny saffron beads and the treasure beads in matte saffron. Oh, good. Okay. So it sounds like Michelle has maybe found a couple options for us. Thank you, Michelle. So here is our bracelet. And like I said, I only ordered for myself 1 strand of each of the beads, the raven's beads, and 1 tube of seed beads. So I was able to make 2 full bracelets out of the beads that I ordered. So you just need an extra clasp. Okay. And then, yeah, Piper, that's a good idea. You could do definitely some crimp covers on the crimp beads as well. That's a really good idea. And that would match too. If you did them in gold, it would really match your clasp. Oh, Denise, great. She says, I love bracelet days. They're fun. Yeah, you guys, I'm always going to default to an earring, but it is really fun when we do bracelets or necklaces. I think we default to making what we wear the most, and I'm an earrings girl. Okay, so here's our finished pieces, all those Raven's Journey beads, and under an hour to do. So you have a bit of stringing to do, but I was talking during it too. And then Michelle is giving us a good reminder that if you have items in your cart, please don't forget to complete your order. All right. Yeah. Denise's earrings too. Yeah. Earrings are definitely my favorite, but I'm expanding. Okay. That was fun, guys. I'm going to flip this back up so I could say goodbye today, and I'll see you guys next week. Okay. Let me flip it. All right. And I got overheated. I had to take off my sweater. Thank you guys for joining today. This was a lot of fun to make a bracelet design like this. Super adaptable, easy to use all different sorts of beads. Do 1 strand, 2 strands, 3 strands, whatever you want to do. All right. Paper saying earrings are my favorite too to make, but bracelets and necklaces too. Yes, for sure. Very fun. Santa Barbara girl. Thank you, Michelle and Eric. Yes, thank you, Michelle and Eric. I love hearing your guys' ideas. Thank you for the suggestions, Piper. I like your crimp cover idea. I think that would tie in nicely with those gold clasps. Fun ideas, everyone. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Denise and Gina. I know it's heating up, so I'm definitely going to be here in a tank top all day. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day wherever you are from. Enjoy. We will see you next week. Oh, good. Thank you, Lynn. And BJ, thank you. And Denise. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Becky is here tomorrow at Art Beads, and then Sarah on Friday. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye.